Hey, just a quick channel update before we get started with the video. If you don't care, skip to this time in the video. First, I wanted to put it out there so that since Twitter has become an exponentially less tolerable hellscape than usual, I've started making the transition over to Blue Sky and have privated my Twitter. If any of you are interested in seeing my crazy thoughts, announcements about projects I'm working on, or just general life updates, Blue Sky is the place to be. Second, I am working on a Gotham Knights video right now, and I don't normally put these kinds of updates in videos. Again, look at Blue Sky for that. But I am looking for 2 female voice actors to play Batgirl and Harley Quinn for a few lines each. The sooner we get those, the sooner I can finish the video, because, full transparency, I was supposed to have it out back in November, but things just kept getting in the way, so there's an audition form in the description. And lastly, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, etc. 2024 was a hell of a year. Let's try and make 2025 better together, because so far, it sucks. Okay, enjoy the video.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
So here's the thing. I used to be really into Overwatch. I still have a banner hanging from my closet door, I've got a few Funko Pops, and I've clocked more hours than I care to admit, but from about 2018 to early 2023, I really liked playing Overwatch. It was a fun hero shooter with great character designs, satisfying maps, and just a generally great vibe. But after the advent of Overwatch 2, and the dozens of failed promises that came with it, as well as a decreased focus on fun and innovation, and an increased focus on competitive play and the meta, Overwatch just slowly phased out of my game rotation, and I stopped thinking about it. But thankfully, after clutching a code for the closed beta and enjoying Season 0 of the game's official release, I can safely say that Marvel Rivals is not only filling the void left by Overwatch, but it's quickly becoming one of my favorite free-to-play and superhero games ever. Right off the bat, I want to speak to anyone who's played or loved Overwatch and feels like a person without a country. Yes, this game is very similar to Overwatch. It's a 6v6 hero shooter where characters fall into different factions based on a loosely explained story, and all environments are relevant not only to the characters, but also to that aforementioned lore. There's also a lot of similarities in some of the characters and their playstyles, including a ninja who throws shurikens and dashes, an archer with a double jump, a kindly support hero who can put people to sleep, a dive tank with a swing mechanic and the ability to gain shields proportionate to a prerequisite condition, a spider-themed female sniper, a soldier who functions as Gun, the character, an armored warrior who provides explosive air support, a support character who is also a professional musician, a tank who fluctuates between a big powerful form and a smaller pistol-wielding form, and so on and so forth. I'm not saying that Marvel Rivals is a deliberate Overwatch clone, only that a lot of the character archetypes you're familiar with from Overwatch are present in some capacity in Rivals, and I think it's really cool that some of those archetypes translate from some of Overwatch's most popular characters directly onto some of Marvel's least popular. Speaking of which, that's one thing that stuck out to me about Marvel Rivals thus far, is the roster. Specifically the diversity of characters and how those characters have abilities that both reflect their power set and roles within the game, while also blurring those lines a little bit. Rocket, if you can believe it, is a support character, but most of my playtime with him focuses on dealing damage rather than healing. I know, I'm a terrible Rocket main. Storm can increase her team's movement and damage despite being a DPS. I get in a metric ass boat of damage as Venom despite him being a tank, and of course, about half the roster deal almost exclusively in melee damage. Sure, there's reasonable ways to give characters like Hulk, Wolverine, Magic, and Iron Fist range attacks, but there's a concerted effort to make the playstyle fit the character. Iron Fist is going to jump in and go prime Mike Tyson on as many enemies as possible, while remaining agile and occasionally parrying. Conversely, Iron Man stays up high with repulsor attacks and the occasional missile strike, and when you can make a melee-oriented character like Black Panther or Hulk have range attacks that fit within their power set without stretching believability too much, they make it work. And the roster itself is pretty diverse in terms of characters, featuring heavy hitters like the Avengers, a couple of the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, but also highlighting some more obscure characters like Luna Snow, Lin-Lee's Iron Fist, Jeff the Baby Landshark, and Cloak and Dagger. One of the most important things in the game, to me, is that the typical team balance isn't as necessary as it is in a game like Overwatch. Obviously, there's a big imbalance in playable characters per class, with more than half of them being DPS, but it's also possible to win the game with wild imbalances, assuming everyone on the team can hold their own and play their part. Hell, I won a game once as the only DPS on a team of healers, and personally find that the best balance is to have only one tank and one healer. But that's mostly because my buddy Darian is really good as Magneto, and my buddy Teddy is really good as Rocket, so it's reasonable to rely on them and just focus on killing. I also find that team balance is partly driven by the team-up abilities, which is something I've been asking for in modern superhero games since forever. Hulk can lend his gamma energy to Iron Man and Doctor Strange, which encourages two tanks, similar to Cap and Storm getting lightning powers from Thor, who also has a team-up reliant on Hela and teaming with Loki. A bunch of these abilities are kind of mid in terms of functionality, but just their mere presence encourages certain characters to pair with certain others and encourages team diversity and balance. I also really like this game as an adaptation of the Marvel Universe, pulling certain things pretty directly but also adding some clever twists to the lore. By far my favorite is all the stuff with 2099, where this Captain America doesn't get thawed until that year, and teams up with Punisher and Black Widow to fight the future Doom. My other favorite is the lore surrounding Wakanda and how they created an intergalactic empire by finding the source of vibranium. Character-wise, I really like what they've done with Venom, where this is a younger Eddie and Suit, who are only just becoming the Lethal Protector, but are still experiencing the King in Black arc with Null, and I think it's cool how they tie these different corners together with stuff like Shuri sending the Guardians to investigate Clintar, or Jeff, Mantis, and Psylocke having all been in the Collector's collection together. And while we don't get a lot of narrative content due to the just very nature of the game, I think some of the lore files and pre-game dialogue shows that most of these guys are written really in character. And of course, I love the cosmetics. Obviously, they had to have a great collection from the movies, and I feel like they got some great ones, like the Wolverine suit from Deadpool and Wolverine, Iron Man's Endgame suit, Namor's Wakanda Forever look, and even some ones that I think look better than they do in the movies, like Iron Spider or Thor's Love and Thunder outfit. But there's also a lot of really cool comic looks like Superior Iron Man, Lynn's Swordmaster fit, Cosmic Herald Thor, and Green Scar. Hell, even some of the obligatory recolors of the defaults are based on comic looks like White Suit Storm, Grey Hulk, and Chasm. Even a lot of the default designs are pretty sweet, with really my only exceptions being Captain America, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. At least Spidey and Wolverine have more appealing alternate skins. I'm stuck using this Cap default because I don't really care for his other ones that much. That being said, I think this game does have its fair share of problems. Moderation for acceptable names is kinda whack, and I think everyone can agree they've logged in at some point and seen at least one name worth reporting. Hell, I was on a few days ago and saw someone whose name was just Kid Toucher. Web swinging with Venom and Spidey can be really cool when you're good at it, but I think sometimes the physics just say fuck you and you either wildly over or undershoot your target. I think the payload doesn't have a noticeable enough increase in speed when you have more people on it, and I think they could actually do with some better progression for the battle passes considering how slow it can be to actually try and get through them. All in all, I really love Marvel Rivals. It's the definition of a free game I would absolutely have spent money to play, and I really hope it sees continued success and passion from the community and dev team. And just to wrap up, here's some characters I'd want to see. I'd love to have Daredevil with a stance change ability to switch between different stick styles. I want Brooklyn Spider-Man as a support, but his ult lets him bust out a sword for more damage. I would end someone's life for Drax and Gamora just to have all the Guardians, and I want Green Goblin to fly around as another air support character. Let me know what you guys think and who you want to see. Whoa, hey, it's the end of the video. Real quick, gotta thank the patrons, especially Devrick5, Did You Get It Guy, Spark Plasma, and Wrestling Fan 99. If you like the video, drop a like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Check out the other channel that I host on, Cursed Cinema Cube, where me and my friends Josh and Gwen goof on cursed movies. If you want to support the channel financially, then use code Chimera Films in the Fortnite item shop so your purchases send me some kickback. Alternatively, support the channel on Patreon for early access, exclusive videos, and more. And lastly, follow me on Blue Sky, Instagram, and join the Discord or server for updates. Okay, bye!